Alright, let's start with that one. So, first of all, we're gonna do some shoutouts here. Nick Robinson. When did I see that video? Dude, all the way. 1st October 2019. That's a super long time ago. Holy shit, 24 million views. I didn't know it was that popular. That is true. That is probably one of the videos that actually got attention for racing games like that in so many years.
In the game, you play as a cop named John Tanner, who, for reasons I won't get into here, basically has a superpower that allows you to take over the bodies of any other driver.
The thing about like Drive San Francisco and this ability was so weird. They had to explain it so much and everywhere and all the time because most people didn't understand it, and I didn't understand it until I actually played the game, really. Like, you kind of get it when they tell you what you do, but you kind of have to do it yourself to really understand the ability.
Using that superpower. Now, as you can see, the car that you're sitting in is moving too, but crucially, you're not the one who's controlling that car. The car you're sitting in is moving automatically, seemingly operated by an AI-controlled driver who's tailing the car you're actually controlling. It's basically like a chase mission in any other video game, just like you've seen.
I mean, you could also call it a really, really bad third-person camera. You know what I mean?
I merged into traffic and the second-person camera followed me, immaculately bobbing and weaving through the other cars on the road.
That's so cool.
It was around this time that I noticed there was no timer, so that the mission countdown timer doesn't actually begin until you reach the first checkpoint, meaning that if you never hit that first checkpoint,
seems intentional if you ask me.
Forever. I couldn't resist trying to break things a little. I drove the car off ramps, into oncoming traffic, all of it. I turned around and drove the car in the second person directly at myself.
Nice work.
It broke. Quickly, it becomes clear that the second-person car has somehow spawned inside of Tanner's vehicle, dealing infinite damage to the car.
It doesn't even have to be infinite damage, because if you look here, like, he only had like 5% health left. You know, he says it's infinite damage, but it was probably just a slight hit that took out the car. This could have gone even more. Like, if you want to try this and record it, like on a video, like try to recreate this, because I'm not sure it would instantly kill your car.
By tapping the A button, you immediately snap into this overhead view of the city, and by tapping that button again, you pop right into any vehicle you can see. So instantly, in the blink of an eye, with no load times, you're in control of that vehicle. It all feels ridiculously snappy, which is great because if you're playing this game properly, you will end up using this feature a ton.
Too much, in my opinion.
The game is also extremely generous about letting you use this power too. Aside from enemies like opponents in a street race or cops during a car chase.
Yeah, maybe that was the way to balance it, you know? Maybe give some kind of delay on the ability, or like like an energy bar that you can only use for a certain amount. Because I actually do think you end up overusing the ability and not even using your own car. Like, you're not going to use Tanner's car, you're going to use the traffic 100% of the time.
It's at that point that I spot this enormous city bus and then veer that bus off the road and then manage to sort of perpendicularly parallel park the bus across the entrance of the racetrack, making sure to leave a tiny opening, just a tiny slit to drive my car through. I then switch back into my buggy and then watch in awe as every single one of the enemy AI racers smash into the side of the bus I had parked, and then I just sort of perfectly slide through that opening, which instantly takes me from last place to first place and ultimately wins me the entire race. Now, I remember this very clearly. It was an insanely gratifying moment, one that I never could have achieved in... See, first I went to Steam, fully expecting the game to be available there, but strangely enough, I couldn't find any trace of it anywhere on the service. And once again, the game was nowhere to be found. The only things left on the store page for this game are like a few 49-cent PS3 user avatars and this item in the store called the Uplay Ass Pop. Sorry, Uplay Passport, which I think was just one of Ubisoft's fancy words for the online pass thing. You remember Driver San Francisco was listed as out of stock, which was unfortunate because the game had apparently just been marked down from $9.99 to $13.40, which is a whopping negative 41% discount. So on to the next one. I bounced from website to website for a little while until eventually, despite a very aggressive warning from Twitter that this was not a safe website, I found my way to g2play.net, which is one of the few places that still had driver SF Uplay codes. G2Play only had 6 payment methods available, some of them familiar, some of them not so familiar, but one in particular stood out to me, and that one was Subway. Subway gift cards. I was stunned. Why? Why? Out of options and feeling really desperate for some sort of resolution, I knew what I had to do.
Man, I haven't been in the subway in years.
I'm still gonna get a gift card.
You know, I would expect some random fees happening somewhere. Or when you get home, the price of the thing is $1 more. Just imagine you get home and the thing is suddenly like 5 cents more expensive. And then you have that fucking card and you can't use it. Like, that would make me so mad. I would not even in the slightest, like, I would just buy $20 and, you know, be done with it, buy Subway next time I'm here. Like, that'd be so stupid to just buy the exact amount, man. There's no chance in hell that you can split the bill. Like, you can't do like $11 on Subway and then $5 in a credits card. That doesn't work. That might work if you're on Amazon and you upload your card and then you can pay the rest with your credit card, but that would need you to upload like the cash first, and that 100% does not work on the G2 whatever website. I don't think Instant Gaming accepts Subway cash cards. Sorry guys. Subway no sponsorship.
But if
You
I'm
should
less
check
than
out
100%
Instant Gaming for cheap
convinced,
game keys.
I'm checking you in.
Link in the description below.
Done.
If you can pay with Subway cash cards, I'm fairly certain that is a very illegitimate website. If I'm a business owner, I do not want to get paid in Subway cash cards, because the only thing you can do with them is either use them yourself, which as a business, if you end up with hundreds, thousands of dollars of Subway cash cards, is very unfeasible. So you probably resell those at a loss, which is a horrible business model. It screams money laundering. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like, that is so scuffed, man. That is so weird. Like, I wouldn't trust a website that accepts Subway cash cards, man.
There's a lot of stuff that can happen when you're driving the car in this game. You could collide with another car, you could collide with a cop car and get in a chase. And they had to account for every single one of these options for every single one of the game's 100 plus characters.
It was lovely. It was lovely. It's my favorite kind of writing, because every day you're waking up and you're doing a new job, a new character, a new little side story, right? That you've got to try and somehow tell in the context of the game.
Reminds me a lot of Most Wanted and the cop speech, that I also had like an insane amount of options. The thing is, most players are not gonna like notice even 80%, 90% of what they actually put into this game. So it's kind of sad that the game kind of doesn't like guide you through it so you can actually experience all of those.
Those staff spent 5 years designing and bringing to life every aspect of the game.
Damn.
And for whatever reason, the development process wound up being longer than the window of time that the game was actually available to purchase. Personally, I'm just not thrilled with the idea that if you don't play a game within 5 years of its release, you've missed your chance and it's gone forever. Like, imagine trying to extend that logic to movies or television. Imagine...
That is still the #1 reason for piracy, in my opinion. Like, once the game is abandoned, that's the reason when piracy becomes important. Like, how else are you gonna get the games? What if nobody wants to sell the used copy of the game? What if everyone just has the digital copy of the game? Like, they're not gonna give you their account, they're not gonna sell you their account. #1 reason for piracy, whenever like licensed stuff is like not sold anymore, they don't want to pay the license, the game disappears. #1 use case. The thing is, the licenses for movies are permanent. Like, they do that all the time. Like, when someone makes a movie, like, they get the licensing for life. But it's not like the movie disappears because they don't pay the licensing anymore. Like, that is already baked into the movie initially. Like, you're not gonna, not after 20 years the license is out, now they have to take down the Harry Potter movies. That's just not how it works. It's just a thing in the gaming industry, and maybe somewhere else too, but in the gaming industry, like, you get music and you get car licensing, for example, only temporarily, like for a certain time span, then it's over.
Removing a game from every storefront it exists on is a choice. Not re-upping or renegotiating the licenses for a game that you released is a choice, and not valuing art enough to go to bat for it financially is a choice.
The thing is, very often when a game is about to be delisted, usually there's a big discount on it. Like, at least the Forza series does it all the time. Like, when Horizon 3 got delisted, like, the game and the DLC just got discounted, and they do that for a lot of stuff. I bought Blur when it was discounted, and shortly after it was discontinued. Like usually they just try to get a few more sales in because they know it's about to be the end. So let's sell a few more copies and be done with it.
You have an obligation to make sure that the thing that these people poured blood, sweat, and tears into doesn't just vanish one day, particularly not because their corporate overlords didn't feel like spending the money to keep it.
But that's exactly it. That's 100% it. Corporate makes the decisions. They don't care. They really don't care how much time and effort was put into anything. The moment it becomes unprofitable, it dies. And it always will.
One of the precedents I would point to is Alan Wake. That's a game by a developer I really love, Remedy, that was delisted from digital storefronts back in 2017 and then relisted a year later in October 2018. How is this possible? Well,
Nice.
according to Remedy, their publisher, Microsoft, renegotiated the rights to the game's licensed music, enabling them to put the game back on sale.
But yeah, that kind of shows it. Like it's 100% either the car licensing and or the music licensing. There's really just not a reason there. I don't think so. Do I think the developers really care if the games get pirated? I think the developers would like you to pirate the game because they want you to play the game. Obviously, they want you to buy it, but if you can't buy it anymore, I think at the core, developers just want you to play your game. Publishers, on the other hand, they don't want you to pirate anything. Like they don't want you to pirate like the grid of tic-tac-toe, you know what I mean? Like they want to give you nothing for free. The devs, on the other hand, I feel like they just want you to play the game, especially if you can't buy it anymore. The thing about the petition, what does it have? It has like 150,000 signs already. But yeah, he did the video in 2019, like 3 years old, probably got around 50,000. Nice. That's you guys. So here's the thing. It is cheaper to buy licensing for a certain amount of time. You buy the license for 5 years and then you renew it if the game still makes money. If the game doesn't make more money, they're not going to buy an extra license. A lifetime license is way more expensive. So they buy a limited license for a certain time period. Usually after 5 years, most of your possible sales have already been sold. You know what other companies are doing though, which I really like, is removing the licensed soundtrack. Like that's one thing you can do. Like you can patch the game to remove copyrighted music, and let's say you don't have licensed cars, then removing the copyrighted music would be enough. Alright, let's call it the stream, guys. Thank you so much for watching.